Hi guys, I'm so excited for today's video because today I'm going to be revealing to you what my second best palette of 2022 is, and it also means that I get to play with my second most favorite palette. Was that correct grammar? Probably not, but you know what I mean. So the second place this year goes to a palette that I've talked about a lot. This is a palette that I have traveled with quite a few times. It's from a brand that I absolutely love. This is a palette from Unearthly Cosmetics, and it is the, drumroll please, All I Ever Wanted palette. I do have to say though, I don't think that this palette actually launched this year, but I tried this palette this year. So that's kind of how I do these rankings. Like, it doesn't really matter when the palette released, it just matters when I try the palette for the first time. So since I tried this palette this year, this is the one that ended up being my second favorite palette of the year, and it is absolutely stunning. It's an all shimmer palette. I've been so into all shimmer palettes this year, and I just think that they are so fun to pair with my favorite mattes in my collection. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do today. I'm not exactly sure what I want to use in this palette, but I'm sort of thinking I want to focus on this shade because it's my favorite, and I don't know if I can not use this shade, but all the shades in this palette are wonderful, and I'm just excited to put it on my eyes again. So I do want to use some mattes because obviously I don't really do a lot of all shimmer looks, and I do want to just give an honorable mention to a palette that didn't even make it into my top 15, which is also a palette that I've tried this year from a brand that I absolutely love, and this is a Surge palette from Blend Bunny. Now, the only reason why this one didn't make my top 15, it's simply just because of the color story. Like, I don't usually reach for neon shades a lot. I also don't really use these kind of sort of subtle pastel shades. And there's just something about like the colors in here that aren't my absolute favorites. And so I just felt like the color story is the only thing that made this palette not be my favorite, because I just don't reach for these kind of color, which is weird to say because like I like all colors, but if I look at a palette, this isn't usually the one that I'm drawn to. But I want to use the mattes from this palette because there are some beautiful mattes in here, and I think I want to use, I definitely want to use this purple. I think that could be really fun, and I'm kind of tempted honestly to do just like a pinky purpley crease and then doing that blue matte on my, blue shimmer on my lid. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna just start by priming my eyes. I am, or I should say we're going to the UFC fights tonight, which we haven't done in forever. I live in Vegas, if you didn't already know, and they have them here all the time, and it's something that we really enjoy doing once in a while, and it's probably been at least a year since last time we went. So I do want my eyes to be like the star of the show, which, I mean, to be honest, that's me every day. I don't really like my lips to be the focus, but especially today because we are going out for dinner first. So I just want to do something kind of dramatic but also pretty, but also, I don't know, something that kind of stands out, you know, like I want to somewhat match my sweater a little bit. I am going to be throwing a leather jacket over this because it's probably going to be quite cold, not only outside but also inside in the casinos and the air conditioning and such. So I want to do something that's kind of bright because the rest of my outfit, except for my shirt, I'm wearing a like black sequin skirt with just black tights and black boots and like some white socks kind of peeking out of the boots. That's my outfit today. So I want to do something sort of that's going to go with my sweater at least, and then have a pop of color on my lid. So I'm going to start, let's see if I can find the right brush for this. Let's use a Rephr 13. I'm going to start with this shade right here in my crease as my transition shade. Gonna try to kind of speed through the mattes since they aren't really, you know, the stars of the show, but honestly any Blend Bunny palette is the star of the show if you're using it, so not really too upset about it. I would love to know how many of you guys have bought any of the Blend Bunny palettes because of me. Like, I know a lot of you have, and please, please, please let me know if you have because of me. Do you love it as much as I do? Because I can't imagine anybody buying these palettes and like not liking them, because honestly, they're just so good and so easy to work with. And I'm just really excited every time I get a chance to play with them. Like, look how pretty that color is. That is such a pretty pink. Taking this shade underneath my eye as well and just working on kind of getting a good blend already on the outer corner. I'm gonna wing it out a little bit. I think I also want to put a little rhinestone just in the spot where I have my eyeshadow winged out. So I kind of want to wing it out quite a bit here so that when I do put that rhinestone on, you'll still see kind of eyeshadow around it. Kind of need to work on the blend right here a little bit because I do feel like that got a bit out of hand, but that's okay. Let's see. I'm next gonna take an even smaller brush, and I cannot find the one I'm looking for, so we're just gonna stick to my Rephr 13. I'm gonna dip into, I guess I'm gonna do a combination of these two. I'm just gonna kind of dip back and forth. I do want it to be just a little bit darker than that mid-tone shade. And I'm just gonna do that on the outer corner of my eye. I freaking love the purples from Lemony. They're so good. Just blending this a little bit into that wing. I don't really want too much of this purple to be showing when my look is done. I don't think I'm gonna take it under my eye. I just want it in the very outer corner of my eye just to create that depth and to give some of these shimmers something to blend into. Just going to quickly put on some of my NYX glitter primer before I do the shimmers on my lid because they are just gonna look so much better when I do. So I'm kind of changing my mind right now because I feel like, do I feel like that? No, I think I'm just gonna do that anyway. Never mind. I'm gonna take this shade because I love it. I'm probably not gonna use a lot of shades in this palette, but honestly, this is about me just showing you the palettes that I've had the most fun with, and with that comes using the shades that I've enjoyed the most, and this is definitely one of my favorite shades in this palette because it is literally everything I like in a shimmer eyeshadow. Like, oh, isn't that so pretty? It's so wet looking and so metallic and so sparkly and kind of sheer, and it just looks so beautiful on the lids. It can tend to crease a little bit on me, but I don't think it's gonna be a problem, and I'm okay with that because this is the kind of shimmer that, yes, it creases, but I can easily just tap my finger over it a little bit if I notice it, and it's totally fine again. And I don't mind doing that because this is worth everything. Like, oh, it's so pretty. And then for underneath my eye, I'm gonna take a bit of this shade, which is an iridescent kind of pink shade, which is so beautiful, and I think that it's just gonna add a little bit of extra interest underneath my eye. This is the shade called Pink Moon. I am gonna give that a little spritz of some Fix Plus just to make it really pop, and I'm just gonna put that right here. And this shade is such a beautiful face highlighter too. Like, I would have used it on my face if I hadn't already used a highlighter, but just trust me when I say this is a beautiful pink iridescent highlighter, and it's just beautiful. I love having it in a palette together with eyeshadows because I can really multi-use it, and oh, this looks so good already. I'm gonna grab my Blend Bunny Dollhouse palette, and I'm just gonna take the Bone Colored Matte here, which I like to use sort of as a erasing shade if I feel like my blending got a bit out of hand. I'm just gonna use that to tone down the pink right here a little bit. And then I'm gonna take some of the inner corner shade that I used and use that as my brow bone highlight before I go in with the little rhinestone that I'm gonna use. Gonna take one of the kind of medium-sized ones, just silver rhinestones, if I can get this open. I'm just gonna put one right here and one right here, just using this lash glue pen from Kiss. And I'm actually gonna do two because two is better than one. I don't think these ended up being even at all, but I also couldn't care less. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on some lashes and finish off with this look, and I will come back and I will show you what it looks like. So I didn't do much to finish off. I just did some kind of lavender in my waterline I'm using. Why do I always put back my eyeliners when I meant to show it to you? I'm using Crybaby, I think, from ColourPop. I really like this. I just wanted something kind of light. I just prefer lighter colors in my waterline, is something I realized over the years. I just feel like it helps open up my eyes and it makes them look bigger. And I really like that. My lashes today are the Divine Lights from House of Lashes. I cannot get enough of these, and they're my reliable, my trustworthy. I know I'm gonna have a good time if I put these on, and I know they're gonna stay on all night. I know they're gonna look great. They're gonna be easy to put on. They're not gonna look wonky, and they're just awesome. My lip today is a tinted lip balm from NARS, and this is in the shade Brief Encounter. I'm gonna wear this just while we're out for dinner, and then I'm gonna switch to a bit of a bolder lipstick after that, but I think we're probably gonna do either pizza or Mexican, and it's just gonna be messy, and I don't wanna have like a bold lipstick on, so I'm just gonna wear this out for dinner, and then I will switch it out after. So that's gonna be my plan. I'm so excited for this look. I think it turned out so beautiful. I know I only used 2 shades from the palette, but like I said before, this is how I've been using this palette when I have been using it, and these have been my favorite shades in this palette. Definitely my most used. I'm just excited to have this palette in my collection. I think it is wonderful. I don't think that Unearthly has these in stocks as of this very moment, but they're probably going to restock. I don't know if by the time I'm filming this video they have opened their store back up again. I know they closed it for a while just to catch up on Black Friday orders, but I will leave their website down below as well as my code, which is just Annette, and it will save you 10% off if you're interested in buying anything from Unearthly. So that's going to be my second best palette of 2022. What is your second best palette of the year? And also, what do you think is going to be my favorite? I think all of you probably know already. I mean, I don't think it's going to come as a surprise to anybody because it's a palette that I've been literally raving about all year. So it's one that I tried at the beginning of the year and I haven't been able to put it down. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you want to see some more of these, I will put my ranking playlist up on the screen. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.